Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Tracy. Today I'm going to go over just a few simple DIYs that anybody can do in their home. Now you don't have to use the exact same products that I have been using, but it gives you that inspiration to try something new. So I've already filmed previously the painting of the items that I had done. I wanted to allow for them to dry. Now, as I've mentioned before, anytime I use a paint, I usually give it 2 coats. I found that I didn't really need that for this particular item, but I still went ahead and gave it 2 coats and allowed for it to dry. So now the items that I'm going to be showing you today one is a restoration hardware dupe. It's the 19th century water vessel that they have listed on their website. So I got inspiration from that. However, I loved the item and I thought it was absolutely beautiful, but not budget friendly by any means. So I'm going to give you some examples of some things that you could do to create something similar to that look or that inspiration. Now, the 2 larger vessels that I used were both purchased from Ikea, and I will go ahead and leave the link to those items down below. They were both very inexpensive. However, if you don't have an Ikea next to you, you can always get inspiration when you're going to a thrift store or even maybe something you currently have around your home. What you want to look for is something that has a good shape, no cracks, no little missing pieces from it or chips, because that's going to affect the overall look. Okay, so yesterday I went ahead and prepped the next vase that I was going to go ahead and give that rustic look to. So I've gone ahead and brought the second pot upstairs. Now you want to make sure that you're covering your surface if you are going to be doing it inside with some newspaper or old tissue paper or paper bag or something along the lines. Now if you notice that the dirt mixture is really quite wet, it's not soupy, but it does have a bit of moisture into it, and that's okay because it's going to dry like the previous one. Now this is a very messy project when it comes to the dirt, but I guarantee you the end result is going to look fantastic. So just go ahead and smear that dirt all over and allow for it to dry. So as you get closer to the end and you feel like you've got quite enough soil on there, you want to make sure that you've covered all the spots, take a good look at it, and then just let it dry on its own. All right, so I'm going to take a look at the whole pot. We see that all the dirt is nice and dry, which is exactly what we want. And then I'm going to end up taking a nice clean dry towel, and I want to make sure that my paper is there so that all the dry dirt can fall directly on there. And we're going to just start wiping it off. And here is the end result. I just love the way it turned out. Then the next item that I'm going to show you is how to hydro dip. Now I did several different items, and there is so many items that you can do with hydro dip. So I purchased my containers from the Dollar Tree. So if you have any dollar store that's nearby, you could just pick up something inexpensive because it doesn't matter. You're not going to reuse it in your household. I use it specifically for hydro dripping because it does become quite messy. You're going to fill your container with water, and then you're going to just get some colored spray paints that you like and spray directly into the water. Make sure that the item that you're going to dip has been cleaned and dried. There's no stickers on it anymore or any sort of sticky residue left on it. But it gives you such a unique look, and you're never going to get the same look from it. So I hope you enjoy those looks. These are the plant pots I purchased from Ikea for my hydro dip. And here is my pink trash can from the Dollar Tree. These are the paints that I will be using for this project. So you're going to make sure that you have your bucket full of water, and you're just going to start taking your paints and spraying them directly inside of the bucket, and you're going to kind of layer each color. So I started with the white, then I added gold, and then I'm going to add my black directly inside, and then I will start layering again with more colors. So I add a little bit more gold, a little bit more white, and then I have some chopsticks that I'm just kind of stirring the color around to give that marbled look. And then I'm going to slowly just dip my item in there and then bring it right out. And that is all there is to it. It is just that easy. Here is the end result of a couple of different pots that I did with the hydro dip, and you will never have any of them look exactly the same. They're gonna all look very different and very unique. But I really am happy with the outcome of these. Let me know what you think. So the last item is going to be a West Elm dupe. They have these beautiful leather wrapped vases on their website. Again, they're very expensive. I did try to get your typical Dollar Tree vase, the cylinder one, but they were completely out of stock at all of my Dollar Trees. So there's obviously a lot of crafting going on in my area. So I went ahead and I actually picked up some drinking glasses from the Dollar Tree because I wanted to give several different sizes. So I went ahead and I spray painted them because, as you'll see in the video, each of the glasses did have decoration on them. Now I went ahead and made sure that each item was cylinder. They're all a little different in shape, but you want something that is not tapered because it's going to be much harder to do it in that leather wrap. Now I did use a faux leather and I picked it up from my local Joann's. It was super inexpensive, plus I got a discount. I got a half of yard for about $3 or $4 for my faux leather. And then you'll go ahead and you'll pick up whatever color string that you're going to use. I used a suede string as well that I think I picked up at Michael's, and then a leather hole punch. So I've never done this, but we're gonna give it a try to see how it looks and see if we can come up with something that's very similar to that West Elm leather wrapped vase that they currently have. All right, here's a list of what you'll need for this project. Now, two of the items that I spray painted, I did spray paint with my favorite gold inside because I thought that might create an interesting look inside. I may fill this up with a candle inside. I'm not exactly sure, but I just wanted to let you know I did paint two of them, the insides of them gold, because I thought that would be a really neat look. And then here are the glasses. So the only reason why I painted this is because if you're going to be wrapping the leather around it, and if you're not going to be filling it up with a candle or something inside, you don't want to see the print of what that glass was inside, and you would be able to see that. So I just put a little spray paint on there. You don't have to be perfect about it, but it made it easier so that the inside you wouldn't see the colors from that glass because there were no clear glasses, and this was just the easiest solution for me. The other reason why I went ahead and prepped mine by giving them one coat of black spray paint was if you're going to be wrapping it, whatever color you're going to wrap it, if you're not exactly tight with it and you don't want to put an extra strip of leather before you lace it, this allows that if there's any peek through, that it's completely covered. It's going to look the same as your leather. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to give this a try and see how it works out. All right, here we go. So I will be using Dawn Power Wash and a little bit of Goof Off, and I have a little scrubbing type cloth. So I'm going to remove all of the labels. Some of them came off pretty easy. I did have to use Goof Off on some of them, but I want to make sure there's no sticky residue because anytime you're spray painting or painting an object, you want to make sure that it's nice and clean and free from all sticky residue. All right, my glasses are clean, so we're gonna go ahead and give them one coat of spray paint, and there you have it. So I have a cutting mat that I'm going to be using, and we're just gonna hope for the best. But as you can see, I have several different sizes here. And we're going to experiment. I'm not sure which ones we're going to use, but these are the different sizes that I chose. So I have my faux leather. And this item seems to be about 6 inches tall. So I'm just gonna actually take this. You're gonna wanna leave a little extra room. Some people like to go ahead and make it a little bit taller to glue into the inside. That's completely up to you. There is no right or wrong to this. You can do it however you want. But I'm going to give it a little extra cutting room. So as you can see, by using this pen, it really helps because I've got a clear mark. So now I measured to make sure that I had it just a little bit over the top so that when I make my final trimmings, once I've put it all together, I can just trim it and it'll be nice and flush, and I have a little bit of room in case I need that. I do recommend that you do use a ruler. However, I didn't have one, so I had an extra piece of a cork paper, so I went ahead and used that as my guide to make it as straight as possible, but you really want to make sure that you get a nice straight cut. So now the reason why I used that white marker was so that I could indicate exactly where I wanted to cut. But if you notice, I did not do it on the leather portion, I did it on the inside, and that's the side that you're gonna wanna mark. And then I'm gonna find the dial size that I think would be best, because you want it to be enough room to be able to have the suede pop through, but not too thin that you won't be able to get the threading through there, and you don't want it too big. So you want to find something that's going to be, you know, pretty comparable. Now, when you're going to go ahead and make your holes with the leather hole punch, you want to make sure that you have uniform spacing in between each one. I eyeballed mine, but it turned out to be pretty uniform in each hole that I created on each piece of the leather. Okay, so you can see along the top here, there are some indentations, and then there are indentations on the bottom as well. So now we're gonna make the holes. You lace it up, you can lace it however you decide. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it inspired you to want to create something that was more expensive from the high-end stores, but on a major budget. And that was my goal, is to be able to create something that was very similar to what you would see in a high-end store, but on a budget. All of these products were super easy to do. They were all first time for me to do. So as you could see, they were really easy to accomplish. All you need is just a few ingredients to create some amazing household items. Don't forget, these items make great housewarming gifts. They're great birthday gifts, as well as Christmas that's coming up. Comment down below and let me know which one was your favorite. I'll see you guys again soon. I'm Tracy, your Savvy Godmother. Bye now.